Hello folks. Right, I've been saying over the last couple of days and I think things are going to start moving now for myself. Well, obviously I've said this quite a few times actually. I have. That's what I said in the last one. How many times have I been to that point of thinking, yeah, that situation with the dogs is coming to an end? Because obviously, from what I've heard from God, if God had said to me that my dogs won't be walking in these woods again, here or any of these places, Ferry Village woods, Stinky woods or Spiny Ruins, if my dogs won't be walking in these areas again, it means that I won't be living in this area, because otherwise why won't they be walking in that area? Unless I don't have a car. Because there's a number of options. They come back to where I am now. If I don't have transport, I can't get them to these places. Yeah, okay. That's one way. The other way is I have to move before they come back. Otherwise they would be going to these woods, in which case what I thought I heard from God wasn't from God. So if that was from God, and like God, as I was walking back here, I heard your dogs won't be walking down these steps again. Well, okay, that means that they're not coming back here, so I have to move first. Well, I haven't moved, so therefore I'll have to move. That's one thing. But now we put the issue of going to church. And the problem for me is most of the churches only have one service, and that's the morning service. I don't know why. When I first started going to church, well, not the first one I went to, but the next one, most had two services, morning and evening. Most had two services. Now it's one service, and that's morning. Now, I'm not a morning person. Without the dogs, I can manage it. But imagine having 11 dogs in one location and you going off for 2 to 3 hours. What sort of damage are you going to find when you get back home? Yeah, that's not good. That is not a good situation. If it is an evening service, then I could take the dogs for a good old run, get completely knackered before I go to church. They'd be sleeping while I'm out. No problem. That situation would be sorted. Because they'd be absolutely knackered, they'd be sleeping. Cool. They'd be fed, they'd have full bellies, and they'd be having a rest. Good. That would work. Morning service? No. 10:30. That's way too early. In the summer, not too bad. I can get up at 5 o'clock. I'd have to. That's the point. For a morning service, I'd have to get up at 5 o'clock. Well, or I'd have to be restored and of heaven. Well, the reason why, and this is why it's logical. All these things are completely logical. Because if I was restored, I wouldn't have sleep apnea. I'd be able to sleep better, because when I was in my 30s, I could sleep better. It was only later that I started having bigger problems with sleep. Although actually, that would really depend upon when, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I suppose I'll have to be restored to around about the time of 2000. When at my age at that time, which I was 31 at that time. Yeah, that's cool. 31 then, father. Yeah. So 31 is perfect, because at that point in time I didn't have sleep apnea. I slept okay. I was able to be awake all day at that point. That'd be helpful, really helpful. Because then I could get up earlier and be functional. So I could actually take the dogs for a walk before church. That'd be good. Being of heaven would be good, because then of heaven means that things like communication is not a problem. So even communication with animals wouldn't be a problem. So I could speak and they would understand me, because heaven would interpret. Yeah. Heaven will interpret that, and they would hear me speaking in their language. And if I said to them, right, you've had your walk, you've had your breakfast, they're going to sleep now, I'll be back soon. Yeah. Sleep well, sweet dreams, that sort of thing. Then they would know that, okay, sleep now, I'll be back. By the time you wake up, I'll be back. So, and don't chew my furniture. Don't chew my shoes. They're mine. They're not your toys, they're mine. Don't chew them. Which, I mean, hopefully they won't now, because even the young ones aren't young anymore, so therefore they shouldn't do that. Yeah. But, all these things, it's all logical. Saying, that's why my faith can see that stuff, because I saw, okay, well, what would I need? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. And so, do I think these things are near? Yeah, I do. Yeah, when, how, etc. Don't know. That really is all up to Father, isn't it? But it's all about glorifying Him. It certainly isn't in any way, shape or form about me. It's not about what my faith can see, because again, what my faith can see has all come from Him. It has all come from Him. It's not been based upon me or my ability or my work, or it's been based upon the understanding that He's given me. The wisdom and the knowledge that He has given me. Because wisdom and knowledge has come from Him. It hasn't come from me. Because if the wisdom and knowledge that I have had come from me, wouldn't I have had that before I gave my life to God? Because if I was capable of generating such wisdom, knowledge and understanding, without God, then wouldn't I have done that beforehand? Yeah, and yet, what did I do beforehand? Yeah, it didn't work, did it? And actually, I gave my life to God when I was 25, so, yes. 25, that's not bad. Yeah, that seemed pretty good, actually, because, quarter of a century. Not bad. Yeah. Didn't take me too long. So it took me long enough to get to where I am now, though, so, yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, indeed. Well, we just have to see what happens with all things, because I think certainly even the situation with regards to church is going to improve, because even that woman coming over to speak to me today, I think that was a breakthrough. Because it certainly is a case that in the future I'm going to go over and say hello to her when I first get to church. And if I do that, then I'll probably go over and say hello to other people. Well, it was one lady's birthday today, so I went and said hello to her while she was having a coffee. And she was sitting with her daughter, so we spoke a bit then. So that just means that next time, I'll say hello to her, or she'll come and say hello to me. Yeah, because we've been introduced now. And so, Yeah. I mean, there's certain people that I won't necessarily go and say hello to, because the ones who have been ignoring me, then I just leave them to it, basically. Say hello to the other people. Yeah. Guaranteed, then those people will be the ones coming over, because it's like they'll be saying, well, why aren't you speaking to me? Well, because you've been ignoring me for such a long time. I figured there's no point trying to build a relationship with you because you didn't want it. So build a relationship with the people who actually wanted it. Yeah. So, but again, it will be a case of building a relationship with those people as well, because if that's what God wants, then that's what God wants. It's not about what I want. It's about putting all of that sort of crap behind me, and saying, no, Yeah, that's how I would have responded before. Now, I've said about it with Rob. Yeah, when Rob said years ago, yeah, that when I was finding things incredibly difficult in my life, when he said, "Oh, there are people that want to be in your life, but you're too difficult to be around right now." Yeah, so that they prefer to be in your life when things get better. And I said, "Well, tell them not to bother. If they can't be there for me now, why should I be there for them when things got better for me? And maybe they need somebody then." Yeah, so it's like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. But that's what I said then. Whereas now, yeah, I've got to be more grown up about it, I suppose now. Which, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, it's about his will being done, not mine. It's about me being more of his nature, less of mine. Yeah. Right, there's a few other things I'm going to share. Yeah. We're talking about things moving. One thing this is complicated. One thing I don't think is going to move is the wife situation, because as far as I'm concerned, not as far as God's concerned, but as far as I'm concerned, I've never met this woman. But I think that's coming more from the point of I don't want to have met this woman yet, because the ones I know, yeah, I don't want any of them. So obviously, well, because they're where they are now. That's the point. They're where they are now. It doesn't mean they're going to be where they are soon, but they're where they are now. So, and God has said to me recently, "You know her." And it's like, oh, for goodness sake, Father, would you please not tell me that? You're just disappointing me. Because if I know her, it means it's someone that I know, and, you know, yeah, please don't tell me that. That's just really unkind. Right now, I don't want to be thinking in that way, because all I'm looking at is, oh, for goodness sake, really? Yeah, and I don't want to be thinking that way about that situation. But certainly, put it this way, if it's a case that I know who she is, or I know her, then God's not talking about the fact I really know her as a person. I think he's more talking about the fact that I've met her. Okay. But even with that being the case, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I did say, going back in probably July, that it'd be cool if it happened on the 24th of October 2022. Well, I can tell you now, it ain't going to happen on the 24th of October. No. Which is a shame. It would have been nice had that happened. That would have been nice. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, am I truly bothered if God says that I know her? Not really. Because, as I say, I don't believe that she is anything like how she's going to be. And so, okay. Well, as I said, right now it is definitely a case that of those who I think are a possibility. Yeah. I can understand why they might want me as to what I could add to them, but I don't see that they could add anything to me in any way, shape or form. Not right now, not as they are. And so that's why I'd rather be thinking that I don't know this person. Yeah. So yeah, that's the situation right now. But as I say, is it concerning? Not really. Not really, because that's God's will, and He will do whatever He's going to do. And for the moment, there's still work to be done in me. Yeah. Well, because obviously, I have love for Him now. Do I quite have love for the people? The people in the church? Enough to... yeah. That's a work in process, I think. And so, okay. That's fine. Yeah. Another thing that I was feeling that I should share that I don't really want to, because I know how people can take this. I was sitting here earlier talking about everything, certainly about God speaking to the lady from church. And as I was sitting here, I just heard, "You are my son." Okay. Well, that goes in line with Father saying a few weeks ago that he's going to be my dad. So, yeah. It does go in line with that. But as I say, the reason why I didn't really want to share that is because clearly it's a case where people do tend to get offended by anything that you say. So, but then again, share that now. Yeah. And that was a beautiful moment. Well, that song, I sang Thy Will after that. And it's the first time for ages that I've actually got emotional while singing that today. So, yeah. So what God has been doing today has had an impact. Definitely. Oh, that area, that's the railway. I would have mentioned this in videos a long time before anyway, but that's the railway that went from Lossy to somewhere. Exactly where, I do not know. But it's a very good walk. It's a very long walk. And in the summer, certainly in the summer and in winter actually, it's not bad. When the ground is solid and it's not too wet, it's a good walk to go on. Because it's incredibly straight. So, yeah, as I say, as far as the eye can see in both directions. It must be a good, 3 or 4 miles? It must be. No, I think that's Elgin to Lossy. I think that might be Elgin to Lossy. Don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, because, of course. Yeah, because the Spiny Ruins is in Elgin. It's not in Lossy. So, yeah. Yeah. So, there you go. Right, you take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful week, etc. Bye-bye.